word genocide brings up so many questions. What is it? Why does it happen? Who causes it? Did Bush do 9/11? Black and blue or white and gold? Here at Collision Course History, we will try and answer a decent amount of these questions. Probably 40%, but who's counting?
Some fast facts about Cambodia. The capital is Phnom Penh. The official language is Khmer. Their religion is 96% Buddhist. Their government has both a monarch and a prime minister. The legislature has a parliament, a senate, and a national assembly. And their GDP is about 43.2 billion.
Welcome to Collision Course. My name is Manzana Papala, and I am your host today.
And I'm Jared Zarati. My name doesn't translate into Khmer.
Yeah, that's a real struggle, Jared. Speaking of Khmer today, we're going to be talking about the Cambodian genocide.
Why is it considered genocide? Many countries are hesitant to use that word.
Well, the Khmer Rouge and Pol Pot, they wiped out about 1.2 million people off the face of their country in a span of several years, and it led to the complete destruction of the country.
What kind of people would put such an evil person in charge?
Well, actually, the rise of the Khmer Rouge and Pol Pot was partly the U.S.'s fault. You see, during a war, the U.S., they kind of tried to bomb one side, but then they ended up bombing Cambodia. And then that led to the citizens questioning Cambodians, like the Cambodian authority, about the western sides. So then that opened up a perfect pathway for Pol Pot to step into power, and that's where he was.
So basically, they just let a random person come into the country and start reforming it.
Well, not really. Pol Pot, he was born in a wealthy family. He went to school in Paris, France. There he learned about government, about social structures, about governmental structures. But he didn't last very long because his grades, they weren't good. So he had to drop out, and then he went back to Cambodia.
So the man behind the slaughterings of thousands of people was a college dropout?
Unfortunately, yeah. Well, let's go to the top level.
Pol Pot was born with a lot of opportunities for someone living in Cambodia. He was allowed to attend Western schools, which allowed a better chance of success for him outside of his country. However, he was known to focus more on partying than actually studying, and as a result, he failed all 3 years he attended at college. This means that if he had focused more on studying than partying, there would have been no genocide, and we wouldn't be talking about this right now.
When summarizing the Cambodian genocide in a timeline, it started in 1975 when the Khmer Rouge seized power of Cambodia after the people did not want involvement with the U.S. The prison camp S-21 was opened that same year in 1975. The 4-year plan to get rid of all of the intellectuals and form a peasant nation was formed in 1976. The main killings occurred in 1977 for the second round of purges. President Carter decided that the Khmer Rouge should be outlawed in 1978, and Vietnam came and ultimately took over the Khmer Rouge in 1979, and ultimately the Khmer Rouge fell and a new country of the People's Republic of Kampuchea was founded in 1979.
He had probably been a lawyer in France or something.
I don't know about you guys, but yeah, I don't think I'd hire a lawyer named this Pot.
I wouldn't either. So what actually happened in the genocide?
I'm not surprised you're confused. In fact, like, if you type it in on Google, Cambodian, the first thing that pops up, first suggestion, is Cambodian restaurant in Phoenix, not Cambodian genocide. But, I mean, as far as your question, Pol Pot only wanted the Khmer Rouge and himself to be intelligent to rule the country. That means that he wanted to shut off all other contact with the outside world, kind of like we see in North Korea. Now what he did was he created these humongous camps where he kept a lot of people in there to work and to die, unfortunately. He would kill most of them after they got there. Some would go there, stay for about an hour, get their mugshot taken, and be taken to killing fields where they would slaughter them in cold blood. These camps, they were called S-21, and they were absolutely brutal. So even if you went there and you did your work as a slave laborer, but you weren't very productive, then you would be expensive to the system and they would be forced to kill you.
Wait, how do you even gain enough power to do something like this?
Well, the Khmer Rouge, they used a strategy called guerrilla warfare, which is very popular in Southeast Asia, just like with the Viet Cong. So they used this to seize the power and launch a coup against their previous leader, Lon Nol. The coup was well received in the eyes of the Cambodians, and they're starting to be hesitant about Lon Nol's cooperation with the U.S., especially after the bombings.
Most of Pol Pot's armies were actually teenage boys, vibrant and ready to serve Pol Pot in anything he desired. In my opinion, there's better ways of dealing with puberty than launching a huge regime and killing thousands of people. Now it's time to open a letter. Take it away, Mark.
Ah yes, addressed to Pol Pot. Dear Mr. Pol Pot, just because you've spent all of your time in college worshipping Maoism instead of actually studying, doesn't mean that you have to think of yourself as Mao's prodigy and use all of his ideals and values word for word. Yeah, also your plan of turning Cambodia into like a mass peasant class to improve the output of the country as well as the economy, like, sucked a lot. Not only did your brutal plan lower the population of the country by 25%, which is 1/4 of the population, which is a lot of people, you also managed to hurt the economy, as less crops and food were being produced than normal, considering you were killing all the people that worked the fields. From Mark. You know, it amazes me that all this occurred in the 70s, yet the tilling fields weren't discovered until 1990. It's about 20 years. Okay. That gave the Khmer Rouge member enough time to either escape in a hideout or just die of old age. And so the trials, they were pointless.
At least Cambodia recognized it, unlike some other people. Turkey.
Well, I guess the lesson here is killing your country's people is pretty bad.
How many times do we have to realize this and have it keep happening? Now it's time for our secret compartment. Inside the spot, we have a Cambodian citizen. This citizen was killed, like many other innocent civilians, during Pol Pot's reign. Inside this Cambodian citizen, we have popcorn. Take it away, Patrick.
Now, the reason popcorn's in the secret compartment is that most citizens in Cambodia were killed in what used to be cornfields. When Cambodia decided to make a mega gigantic superfield for every peasant to work in, they took what used to be the old cornfields and turned them into killing grounds, where they just take people that didn't agree with their ideals and they just killed them.
If only we could all be like Canada.
Jared, why are you licking your lips?
I'm thinking about ordering some Cambodian food. This green mango grilled fish looks pretty delicious.
Yeah, well, that's it for us at Collision Course History. I'm your host, Manzana Papala. Stay classy, Tempe.